Hey, you're super excited. You got your kit, you're loving your oils, and you just wish that box came with more instructions, right? We've all been there where we open that box, we have all these fabulous oils, but we're really not sure, besides putting in the diffuser, what else to do with them. So this video I'm going to show you how to make rollers. It's one of the most effective ways to make sure to apply your oils topically. You usually want to blend them with a carrier oil. My favorite carrier oil is grapeseed. Any brand that you prefer works. I like grapeseed because to me it doesn't have that much of a smell. Some people absolutely love the fractionated coconut oil. You want to get the fractionated coconut oil if coconut oil is your thing, because it does not solidify. Regular coconut oil, when it becomes below a certain temperature, it actually turns into a solid, and you don't want that in your roller. It's not going to work. I actually just started using this one, the Naked Supplements brand, for my cold pressed grapeseed oil, and I love this one. The only bad thing about it is it doesn't come on a pour top. So again, if that's a deal breaker for you, there are plenty out there grapeseed oils that you guys can find and use. So you definitely want to get yourself a carrier on hand. This is one of my favorites. You will also need a roller. I prefer the 10 milliliter. If you're ever making the fives are great for travel. If you have a small purse, you can put them with you. You just want to then divide whatever drops you put in the 10, divide it by half. Very simple. You'll need your oil of choice. I'm going to be making an immunity roller, so I have my Thieves, and our town's getting really hit hard with the flu, so I'm actually going to be adding an extra kick with my oregano. So this is just the two that I'm going to use. And also, if you're making a lot of these, I highly recommend getting yourself some washi tape. I got it off on Amazon. You can get it at any sort of arts and crafts store. The cool thing about this tape is I'm not really a crafty person, so I had to learn what the cool thing was because I didn't automatically know. It is, if you put it on the roller, you can take it off and it doesn't leave that sticky residue. And I have OCD, and that sticky residue, it freaks me out. So anyway, if you use regular tape, don't worry. You know what gets off the sticky residue? Lemon oil. I know, there's a little tip for you. Lemon oil gets that right off. All right, let's get started. I'm going to move these off to the side. With the roller, sometimes when you buy them, they're separate. All the parts are separate. I put this one together just in case you got one and it had everything together. If you have one from me, I might have put it together because it ships better that way. I'm sorry. So just unscrew the top, and oh no, it has the roller ball on it. That's okay. We want the roller ball on it. You're going to take the little plastic piece right here, and you're just going to gently wiggle it back and forth. Wiggle, 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 and then you can't see it, but then it popped right out. Okay, so literally back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until it pops right out. Then you can just set the roller ball aside and the cap, and we're gonna be dealing with the dropper. I'm gonna change the angle so you can actually see a little bit better. So I'm gonna uncap my Thieves, and there's actually, if you look very carefully, there is a little hole at the very top that's actually for ventilation, okay? So it helps put the air in, so it pushes the oil out. It doesn't matter which way you drop the oils into it, which way you're holding it. All that matters is you want to have it on an angle. That's the key. That's how it comes out the best. If you flip it, I'm gonna use this one because it's capped. You don't want to do this. Doesn't really work that effective. You want to have it on an angle like that, okay? So for a standard one, I would probably start off with 20 drops of Thieves. So this is their super exciting part. It's at the angle, and I'm gonna sit here, very exciting, and count. I think I'm at like 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And that should be about 20. And then just to end it, right after that last drop, I just tilted it back up that same way. Put my cap back on. Gotta be careful. Actually, both the oils I'm using today are hot oils. So what that means is they have the tendency to burn your skin. If you're ever feeling like right now, if you touch the cap or something, if, ooh, it burns a little bit, just add some carrier oil, not water. Add some of your grapeseed oil, just, give a little wash with that. It will help dilute that, and then that burning sensation will go away. Oregano, the exact same thing. It is also a hot oil, which means be very careful when you are using that. Oh, it smells like pizza. Sorry, I know. So when I put this on, sometimes I get that like pizza-y smell, but man, if it helps boost my immune system, I'm all in. Teacher, mom, you cannot be down, right? And I'm gonna put in, for this one, it's for myself, so I'm also gonna put in another 20, so it's a 40 drops. It's gonna be pretty strong. And for my kids, I would definitely still do 20 of the thieves, and then I would probably drop my oregano to 10. Or if you're not putting oregano, I would put 25 for thieves. So again, you know your kids best, you know you best. So if you're not comfortable putting that much in, start smaller. You can always add more drops later, so it's not a big deal. Once you put them in, you can't really take them out. You can dilute it more, but you'd have to then put it in something else. So honestly, there's really not a way to mess this up. I always like to undershoot, because then again, you can always add more oil. So when in doubt, put a little less in, because if you know what, if it's still effective, you get to use less oils for the same effectiveness. So I think that's a win-win situation. So you can tell my immunity roller is pretty strong, but again, this one is for me, and we do have a little bit of an outbreak going on in my school system, and I have to head back to work next week. So again, some of them come with pour spouts. You can use a funnel. There's little like droppers you can take out. So whatever is most effective for you. I'm going to pour it and hopefully not make a mess all over the place. So I'm literally just going to eyeball it. It's really hard because I'm sitting down right now. Whoa. Oh, I made a total mess. All right. Well, usually I do a better job than that, but usually I'm also not sitting down. So I'll be right back. I'm going to get a paper little towel real quick. Had to borrow my daughter's desk chair so that I was more eye level with the camera. It was too awkward when I was like all up above and got like that awkward view. So I figured this would work out. I should grab one more. Get that top. All right. So again, the neat freak in me. So I'm just going to kind of wipe off that excess that I have. Usually I put in a little bit less, so I'm a little bit full. Usually I will fill it a little lower, about to where my finger is right here. Because of the one I have, it just poured a little too much in there. If you pour it down this way, usually, small test, I clearly smell the spiciness of the thieves, and I also smell the oregano in there. So for me, this is a really nice blend. And then to pop the top back on, it's pretty simple. You're just going to set it on top like this. And I wiggle it a little bit, but then once I literally can't wiggle it anymore, I'm just gonna take the palm of my hand and press it down. So take my palm and straight down. I heard the click. I don't know if you heard it on the film, but it did the click, and now you can see that there's no gap right in there. So then you can mix up your oils. You can kind of see the oil and the carrier oil mixing a little bit. So you can give that a little bit of shake, and it's kind of cool because the thieves clearly is a totally different color. And there you have it, all mixed in or as you go. The more times you use it, the more it's going to be mixed up. So, and then you're good to go with this already. I like to use my immunity rollers best on my feet. Your feet have very open pores, so it gets absorbed very quickly into your bloodstream, and then it can circulate through all of your different organs. So again, this one I find most effective for feet. I know it's weird, but it works great. Then you just pop your top back on. And last thing we're going to do is label it, because if you have a bunch of these rolling around, sorry, I entertain myself sometimes. They become difficult to tell apart unless you have different color bottles. And I'm just going to take my washi tape. You can rip it. It's super easy to rip. But again, the OCD person in me, we're going to use some scissors, and I'm just going to cut off a nice little strip. Shoop. All right. And then you can label us any way you want. There's so many cool little label makers out there. I'm not that fancy. I just want it to be quick, efficient, and be done. That's kind of my method. And so boom, I'm now done. The only thing I could do is I could take my Sharpie and write immunity on it. I forgot to bring it in the bathroom. I won't bore you with writing immunity. I'm pretty sure you can take care of that on your own. So anyway, this way you can use different color tapes. You can just label them. When I'm done using this roller, I would refill it. I refill them as many times as necessary. Just again, pop off the cap. I would use the same mix though. So I wouldn't, let's say this one was, my thieves and oregano. I wouldn't switch and put like lavender and frankincense in here. Ooh, no, that would be bad. So you definitely want to make sure that you're using, if it's not the same, then complementary. The only time I throw these out and not use it again is if it becomes leaky at the top. I mean, the plastic roller bottles, this one I have is metal. It happens with both of them. The plastic on the side gets looser, so then all of a sudden, like a lot of the oils come out it's basically with age, nothing lasts forever. Well, this is one of those things. It's plastic. It's not going to last forever. The ones with the plastic balls, the same thing. Sometimes my plastic balls got stuck at the top and it just needs a love to get going again. You'll know, generally, they last a pretty long time. You can get them off Amazon fairly inexpensive. I like to buy them in bulk of 24. And that way, I just always have them on hand, and I can give them to others and things like that. You can make samples for friends, and if you want to do that, you can always get the 5 too. Those are great size. But there you go. I hope that this helped you with figuring out how to make rollers. So if you have any questions about a particular roller you want to know, and you want to know, hey, how many drops of this or that, you can text or message me anytime. I will happy to guide you through and answer all of your questions. And then pretty soon people are going to be coming to you for advice, because you're going to know how to provide these and make these for your family and everything. So again, thank you. And if you have any questions, let me know.